It's alright. It's okay. While we wait for season 3, let's just go hang out in Essos. Hang out with the monkeys. This is where the episode begins. Tywin Lannister is negotiating with the Triarchy to break the blockade so trade can resume and King's Landing can be well fed and so his ships can have easier passage so they can, you know, continue on this war against Rhaenyra. He also wants a bigger army and he gets a deal. The pirates ask for the stepstones. They do the diplomatic stuff, but in order to get the army Tywin wants, he has to impress the commander of their fleet, who is known as Sharako Lohar. And so a boisterous pirate queen enters the room. And to get on her good side, Tywin has to defeat her in a mud wrestling battle, cause she's fun like that. Check out these pirates. This one's an actual Bluebeard. I like it. So Lohar is an interesting character. She's played by Abigail Thorne, which is a bit distracting for me because I'm familiar with her Philosophy Tube videos on YouTube. But she's moving up in the acting world. She's been on Star Wars too, and she does a good job here. Really livens up the mood. But I do like the concept art for her character a little better. She has like this braid that looks really cool. I guess they couldn't get the wig to work out or something. They couldn't make that work for whatever reason. But what's interesting about this character is that they seem to be gender fluid because the Triarchy refer to them with he, him pronouns. Yet all the press and I think Abigail on social media refers to Lohar as a woman. They clarify a little bit more on the podcast for the show. The producers say that basically the pirates here are very patriarchal, of course. They can't bring themselves to be led by a woman, so they refer to her as a man. And Lohar has to kind of like play that role. She has to present herself as more masculine in order to gain that trust and leadership role. You know, and her presence definitely confuses Tywin here. I think it's all intentional to add to her unhinged, unpredictable persona. She asks to have kids by him. The twist is that she wants him to sleep with her many wives. At the end of the episode, it looks like they solidified their alliance. So yeah, it's an interesting story beat, but I feel like it came a little bit too late in the season. It feels like this is the type of thing they should have started with in the next season. Like introducing a character like this so late is a little bit odd and kind of detracts from the momentum of the season. It would have been a nice little breath of fresh air to start in Essos 2 at the beginning of the next season. Speaking of salty seafarers, Corlys and Alan are preparing to go to war for Rhaenyra. Corlys is trying to find some kind of connection here with Alan, his bastard son, and offering some advice. That rubs Alan the wrong way. You know, it's like, oh, it's a little too late. Like at this point now you're trying to offer help. My whole life you've been ignoring me and here you are now. So now this big battle coming up soon and eventually one of these days in a couple years, there's going to be some tension here between father and bastard son. You know, maybe Corlys is going to end up having to save his son Alan like Alan saved him off screen. It would have made this scene, you know, land a little better if we had seen maybe that moment where Alan actually reached out to rescue his father. Speaking of salty tears, here's Aegon bedridden. Yeah, so Larys is like, you know, trying to give some more advice to the king here. They better get out of town because Aemon's gonna freaking kill Aegon, you know, and if not him, then Rhaenyra will, of course. Larys is pretty smart, you know, he figures that, you know, Rhaenyra has like 10 billion dragons, so there's no way that Aegon's gonna be able to defend himself. Aemon's run amok. He's like, you know, burning down different cities for the heck of it because he's spiteful, revengeful. So they gotta get out of there. So he's convincing him to get out of there. That's gonna mess up Alicent's plan. We're gonna get into a little bit, but Aegon better be scared of all these new dragons Rhaenyra has on her side with Ulf and Hugh and Adam. Look at these ferocious warriors here. Ulf is becoming very comfortable, but he doesn't have any very good manners, and that's upsetting Jace. He's upset that small folk like Ulf and Hugh here get to ride dragons. You know, makes him look less than. You know, he continues to be insecure about his bastard ancestry. He's acting like a pouty teenager. But, you know, Bela's coming in, like, it's okay, don't worry about it, you're still freaking prince, like, geez, chill out, Jace. And it reminds him that, hey, like, there's a lot of lords in the history books that weren't sired by noble fathers, you know, it's okay, it's alright. She's still uppity too, you know, she's like, I'm not a normal person, I'm not a normal born, you know, but Rhaenyra's gotta show that she is queen, put on that crown and that really nice dress, damn, like, look at those shoulder pads. It's a little easier now for her to sacrifice these new dragon riders in the war, right? As opposed to sending her sons and daughters. I imagine things are gonna get a little bit more desperate once Ulf and Hugh and Adam fall. I imagine they will. Like, I mean, obviously they're building them up to be the first to go down, right? Jace is feeling a little bit better now. At the end of the day, you know, he's going to be grateful that they're going to get in the line of fire before he does, you know. By the way, Rhaenyra's still out there looking for her dragon. She decided to rough it in the wilderness. But yeah, at the end of the episode, Rhaenyra finally comes face to face with her new dragon. We got little teases here and there throughout the season. A peppering of Rhaenyra in the Eyrie. This is another one of those plot lines that maybe could have waited till the next season. I don't know. Or I guess I could have made the season longer. But maybe let's cool it with the dragons a bit, just a bit, because it's really upsetting Criston Cole here. Too many dragons. He's super depressed, super cynical about this whole war thing. Welcome to war, Criston. That's how it is. You're just a pawn in this big old mess. You know, second thought, you know, maybe we should introduce more dragons, get him even more sad. Yeah, he's too much of a downer for Gawain here. Gawain is more upset that he was sleeping with his sister, you know. Though Criston's existential crisis works to calm Gawain up a bit. Because now he's just as sad as Criston, maybe. Puss down his sword is like, well, I guess I'll sit with you and wallow in this miserable world along with you. I mean, earlier on we saw him feel a bit jaded and upset when he saw, like, Criston cut off that dude's head. I guess Gawain has accepted as well that, like, yeah, this war is hell, we're all gonna die, and there's nothing we can do about it. And so I guess now they're two sad boys in the woods. So what about sad boy Daemon? What is he up to? Well, this whole season there's been that question, like, hey, is he gonna betray Rhaenyra? Is he gonna take the throne for himself? Is that his plan? Here comes Sir Alfred on behalf of Rhaenyra herself to see what Daemon's up to. But Alfred seems to be on Daemon's bad side here in the sense that he wants Daemon to take control, be the king. He says this kingdom, these 7 kingdoms, need a man in charge. Yeah, so Alfred here is kind of like the ham-fisted symbol of the patriarchy, trying to seduce Daemon. But guess what? Daemon's story arc is complete. He rejects it. He gets to see the future thanks to resident witch Alice Rivers, who I guess her whole plan this whole time was to get him to touch this magic tree to get a vision of the Song of Ice and Fire. The same visions that Viserys had, that Rhaenyra told him about. We get a glimpse of Daenerys with her little dragons. We get visions of White Walkers. He sees Rhaenyra on the throne. And then Helaena shows up, you know, telling him, like, hey, you're just part of the bigger story. Play your part, which is not to be king, by the way. And that convinces him. Oh, that'll do it. Now he believes in magic and stuff. You know, that was his whole thing. He was all against the magic vision dreaming stuff. I mean, pretty cool sequence visually, but it's like nothing new. It's like, yeah, it basically just connects this to Game of Thrones. It kind of feels like it's going back into the well a bit. It's like, oh yeah, we've already done this. It would have been nice to see a whole new prophecy. You know, that would have been cool. You know, give us a little mystery to follow. We did get to see this creature here. And apparently this creature is related to the children of the forest. I don't know the exact lore, but that's kind of cool. Alice could be connected to them somehow. Maybe get more into that next season, maybe, hopefully. I'm hopeful they'll expand Alice's character a bit more in future seasons. It would be a bit of a bummer if her only purpose was to fix Daemon in this one season. But yeah, I like how the sequence seamlessly connects to Helaena at King's Landing here. We're finally getting to see her powers in action. And this is a bit of a reflection of the scene with Damon, right? Because now, you know, we got Alice playing the witch role to Damon. So here Helena's the mystic to Aemon the warrior. Aemon, of course, is a reflection of Damon. So again, Aemon is trying to get Helena to ride a dragon for the war. Earlier on, there was that sequence with Alicent intervening. That was really great. Aemon, you know, just lusting for war without caring for his loved ones, really. But here, Helena sees right through Aemon. She knows he burnt Aegon on purpose and refuses to ride her dragon again, even at the threat of death, prophesizing that he's gonna die anyway. Aemon is bested once more. Yeah, apparently this is different from the book. Helena was into riding dragons. It's a nice change to have like a character who's like reluctant and or opposed to riding dragons. Gives her more of a unique perspective, and you know, instead of just being another dragon rider. So that's so I don't mind that. Makes Helena more of an interesting, unique character, I think. Anyway, so Rhaenyra goes to visit Daemon. Turns out Daemon has seen the light, has seen the White Walkers, so he bends the knee to Rhaenyra, affirming that he will follow her until death or the end of their story, he says. It's like reaffirming their vows. Even the misogynists are brought to their knees. And so it seems Rhaenyra is at a good place. Sweet, sweet monarchy. So everything's set in place, ready to go, ready for battle. But Rhaenyra isn't feeling too good about having to kill innocents in this war. But Mysaria, her friends with kisses, is there to motivate her a little bit. You know, it's like, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. It's this wartime. You know, the gods are on your side, so you'll be okay. And why is Rhaenyra all alone in her bed right here? I mean, thought they were setting up a little bit of a romance between her and Mysaria. I guess it's just a little bit of a fling. It's not a big thing. I felt like that could have led to something more, you know. Didn't have to be a full-blown relationship or anything, but they could have built on it a little bit more. Oh well, here comes Alicent to keep her company. So yeah, Alicent shows up in an echo to what we saw earlier in the season where at King's Landing, where Rhaenyra shows up to surprise Alicent, trying to ask for peace. And that didn't go well at all. And now Alicent is trying to do the same. A little too late though. It does feel a bit weird that she got in here so easily. Rhaenyra had to do a whole sneaking mission as a nun. But here Alicent just waltzed in like nothing. Yeah, I guess we should suspend disbelief a little bit, because thematically the scene works well. I mean, this whole series is really about these two, right? They're the central focus. And now it feels like we're coming full circle here with them. Alicent has accepted her wrongdoings. Rhaenyra has accepted that war is inevitable. So the plan that Alicent has come up with, you know, she was mulling this over while she was camping, I assume, is that when Aemon is out, you know, battling Daemon at Harrenhal, the Iron Throne is going to be unguarded. And Rhaenyra can just fly up there and take the seat, because Alicent is going to let her in to end the war. But Rhaenyra wants more than that. She needs Aegon's head. That's the only way the realm will accept her as queen, is if Aegon is dead. A son for a son, she says. And so Alicent has to agree. That's the only way. She, you know, before that though, she has to bite her nail. You know, this is a little bit of a callback to when she used to bite her nails as a kid in the first season. And she's back at it because this is her toughest nail to bite yet. She's got to sacrifice her son Aegon in order to save the day and end this war and save her skin and Helena's skin too. You know, they're gonna make a run for it. And so she agrees. Well, that's what she's got to do. But little does Alicent know that Aegon has made an escape already, you know, with Larys, and he's not going to be there. So I wonder, next season, is Rhaenyra going to get there, find that Aegon isn't there, and then think that Alicent backed out of this plan? You know, Alicent was willing to become a loser in the history books, you know, be thought of as the queen who took power then lost it. You know, then maybe Rhaenyra will think that, no, Alicent chickened out at the end. But story-wise and acting-wise, I did like this scene a lot. This is a really good scene. It wraps up the story arc these two have gone through this season real nicely. The manner in which Alicent got here feels underwritten, but then this whole season kind of felt a little bit less cohesive. than the first, don't you think? I mean, we're ending here almost like where we started in a way, like everyone's getting ready for battle, you know? I thought this season is where the big battle's gonna happen, but no, it's actually next season. All these episodes have been leading up to this montage just to leave us on this cliffhanger, like, yeah, come back in 2 years, we got a big battle coming. We had some fun dragon battles this season too. It wasn't all lost, and you know, there were good character moments with Rhaenyra, Alicent, like I said, some good character moments with Daemon. I think the dream sequences were cool. I like that. The small folk storylines were hit or miss here and there. Some characters like Hugh I didn't like so much. You know, felt like a little bit of a superficial look at the small folk. They didn't really challenge the idea of a monarchy, more so the idea of like, let's just have a better king or queen in charge. And there were sequences like this that like just were peppered throughout that, you know, took all season to build up to, okay, she found a dragon, and yeah, you gotta wait next season to see her ride it. There wasn't much meat to this plot line this season. A lot of wheel spinning, a lot of table setting, right? And then we get this little sneak peek of Otto here trapped in a cage. Is he in a moving carriage? This was a bit unnecessary. If they're gonna show Otto be trapped and encaged in prison for some reason, like give us a little bit more context at least, like what's going on, you know. If not, just might as well just leave this whole moment for next season. By the way, we also get another tease of another dragon. This is apparently Alicent's other son that we never seen before. He's got a dragon, and I guess that's gonna be one more dragon for Team Green. And that makes it what? They got 2 dragons now? Because Aegon's dragon died. There's probably other ones I'm missing, but not nearly enough to compete with Rhaenyra, right? So we'll see how that goes. But maybe this new dragon rider is really good or something. But yeah, that's a high tower dragon. I guess they had one all along. A little bit of an underwhelming finale, you know. I felt like this season could have used a couple more episodes. You know, last season was 10 episodes, and I think the first season was better. But the whole Viserys plotline and just watching Alicent and Rhaenyra grow up, that was more compelling to me. You know, not that this season was a complete loss or anything. It just felt like even more of a setup for the next season than even the previous season, which I thought that was a big setup for this season, that this season was going to be the big dance. But I guess they want to prolong the series for a while, you know, make sure they bring in more subscribers to HBO Max, because it's going to go for at least 4 seasons. There'll definitely be a lot of action next season, but I expect another cliffhanger to keep you wanting more and sticking around for another few years. But yeah, that was House of the Dragon Season 2. There's going to be another spin-off of Game of Thrones next year. The Duncan and Egg story. I think that one's going to be more of a lighthearted show, maybe, I think, about a tournament or something, about some knight. But as for Dragon Time, we're going to have to wait another couple years. Most likely, they're going to start production in 2025 for Season 3, so... But anyway, overall, the season was pretty solid, you know. I think Rhaenyra's arc took a little bit too long to get going. That's how, you know, that's House of Dragon. Can't get any other dragon fantasy shows like it anywhere else. You know, maybe one of these days. By the way, the dragon did reject me this year. I was able to find my way out of the cave, so it's all good. But I'm gonna try again. So, you know, maybe by next season I'll be riding a dragon too, you know. And then maybe I can annoy Jace and see him squirm a bit, you know, that'll be fun. But that'll do it for now. I'll see you some other time under the moonlight. Bye bye.